On a flight, a man drank a beverage, unaware it would cause dizziness and blurred vision. Sensing danger, he tried to stand but was restrained by the person beside him, who threw him into the bathroom, muttering about a bounty. The plane was filled with assassins, all after the same huge reward. Who was this man, and why was he the target of this massive assassination plot? What world-shaking secret was behind it? The story flashes back 12 hours. That morning, CIA agent Mason whistled on his way to work, only to get an urgent alert from a colleague. His face darkened as he rushed into the office building, heading to the 30th basement level. Just 10 minutes earlier, the CIA learned their facility in Manila, Philippines was bombed, clearly a deliberate act. Colleague Alex reported no leads on the bombing. The culprit was a ghost, leaving no trace. Furious, Mason knew the mastermind was a hacker named Phantom, who had crushed national economies and bankrupted dozens of Fortune 500 companies. This wasn't Phantom's first taunt to the CIA, yet despite their efforts, no identity details surfaced. As Mason searched for answers, Director Laura appeared, demanding results. Mason tried to hide his oversight, but Laura saw through him, warning that million safety was at risk. Agent Daniel then spotted a suspicious figure on surveillance, hidden by a digital mask, unidentifiable. With no CIA agents available in Manila, Mason suggested Singapore's task force investigate, but Laura noted they'd take an hour to arrive. By then, Phantom would be gone, making the search like finding a needle in a haystack. After debate, Laura urgently recalled Jack Vega, a fired ex-agent hiding in Manila's slums to escape a manhunt. 2 years ago, Jack, then an agent, was tasked with protecting a key diplomat, unaware the man was a cruel predator. Unable to stand by, Jack attacked him, accidentally leaving him comatose. Hearing this, Jack couldn't help but scoff. Laura had betrayed him initially, yet now boldly begged for help. In anger, he hung up, only to face an enemy at his door. After barely handling the threat, Laura called again, this time warmer, promising to clear his warrant if he caught Phantom, allowing Jack to return to normal life. The offer was too tempting to refuse. However, Phantom was about to leave Manila by plane, so Laura ordered Jack's flight ban lifted and instructed him to board the same flight to apprehend Phantom. Unbeknownst to them, someone had leaked Phantom's info, posting a $10 million assassination bounty on the dark web, spurring countless killers into action. Soon, Jack reached Manila Airport, where an agent handed him a passport and boarding pass. Still wary of Laura, as he prepared to board, his phone rang. A text, analyzing blast site footage, found bloodstains near the explosion, indicating Phantom was shot before fleeing. Jack frowned slightly, handed his passport to security, but the scanner flashed error twice, causing tension. A nearby agent hit the machine, and a green clearance appeared, letting Jack pass security and board the Los Angeles-bound flight. He had no details on PhantomNet, even their gender, and could only quietly observe passengers. The 16-hour flight gave Jack time to identify and discreetly capture the target. Meanwhile, the CIA's Manila team learned Phantom, injured, visited a veterinary clinic for treatment, prompting further investigation. With a flight attendant's help, Jack found his seat, but grew suspicious of a nervous male passenger, who explained he was just afraid of flying. Though the drinks were few, they satisfied Jack's craving, and the enthusiasm of the man beside him completely disarmed his guard. Unbeknownst to him, as he finished his drink, he noticed something wrong with his body. He stumbled to his feet, trying to seek help, leading to the opening scene. Drugged, Jack was no match, but the man toyed with him, planning a slow death. This gave Jack a chance to fight back. With all his strength, he tackled the man, slamming his head through a fire sprinkler, pinning him motionless to the ceiling. Confirming the man's death, Jack first reported to Laura, then crawled to the bathroom, turning on the shower to wash off blood and drinking tap water to flush the drug from his stomach. As his mind cleared, he hid the body in a ventilation duct. Just then, the flight attendants knocked, asking if Carlos needed medical help, as the earlier noise had raised suspicion. When Jack didn't open the door, an air marshal ordered him to comply. With the pounding growing louder, Jack spoke to Laura, then opened the door, claiming he was airsick.
Their conversation was overheard by an assassin lurking in the shadows, and the intense struggle caused Lisa's abdominal wound to tear, confirming Jack's suspicions. With her identity exposed, Lisa stopped hiding and, under Jack's pressure, agreed to cooperate to survive the long flight, as he was the only one who wanted her alive. They'd deal with other matters after landing safely. To address the immediate threat, they went to the cockpit, informed the two pilots of the situation, and instructed them to keep the cockpit door locked until landing. Then, Jack and Lisa returned to the galley to avoid arousing suspicion from other assassins. Lisa continued posing as a flight attendant, while Jack went to first class to check for suspicious individuals. But as he entered the cabin, an arrogant flight attendant scorned him. Reluctantly, Jack asked to see the cargo manifest, only for a woman in a suit to suddenly attack him. Jack countered, initially thinking the assassin mistook him for Phantom, so he defended passively. It wasn't until he saw a tattoo on her body, marking her as part of the Triad assassin group, that he realized the gravity of the situation. Jack's nerves tightened, his movements becoming more decisive. After a fierce fight, the female assassin was incapacitated. Thinking he could finally relax, he discovered she had accomplices. Realizing the situation was spiraling out of control, Jack grabbed an empty wine bottle and charged at the assassins with a ferocious expression. With agile reflexes, he weaved through the crowd, quickly neutralizing the pursuing killers. Moments later, a fallen assassin's phone lit up, revealing Jack's photoid. Turned out he was also a target with a bounty. Suppressing his rage, he confronted Lisa, demanding to know what catastrophic act she'd committed to drag him into this. Knowing she was cornered, Lisa reluctantly revealed the truth. She hadn't just crossed the CIA, but also bombed a Triad electronics factory, sparking this deadly vendetta. She claimed it was justified, as the factory was involved in illegal dealings. Jack could only curse his luck. Soon after, Laura learned of the chaos on the plane, but was powerless, silently praying for success. Mason, standing nearby, was frantic, doubting Jack's competence and wanting to report to superiors for backup, but Laura stopped him, believing Jack could complete the mission. Meanwhile, the situation on the plane grew increasingly perilous. Assassins in the cabin received Jack's photo and bounty details, and some began searching for him. Seeing this, Jack's internal alarm blared hiding wasn't a long-term solution. The next moment, the cabin lights blazed on, forcing the restless assassins back to their seats. A fierce gunfight erupted in the cramped cabin, with passengers screaming and scrambling to avoid getting caught in the crossfire. Facing the Triad's overwhelming numbers, Jack began to tire. Fortunately, Lisa arrived in time to defuse one wave of danger, but Jack felt no gratitude, knowing full well that once the assassins realized Lisa was Phantom, their situation would become even more perilous. But neither realized their conversation was overheard by a man hiding behind a curtain. Seizing the moment Jack clashed with assassins, the man stealthily approached and subdued Lisa. Jack, desperate to intervene, was ambushed from behind but, with his superior combat skills, quickly killed the attacker, yet assassins kept coming in waves. While Jack was busy fending them off, Lisa fought fiercely with her captor. Far from helpless, she grabbed a nearby water jug, smashing it against the assassin, sighted, then unleashed a flurry of punches and kicks, leaving him defenseless. Seizing the moment, she grabbed a golden suitcase and slammed it into his head, successfully freeing herself. Meanwhile, Jack finished his final slaughter, clutching his wounded abdomen to regroup with Lisa. But a dart suddenly struck his thigh, and 3 strangely dressed women rushed in, pinning him down without a word. Lisa shouted to stop them, revealing they were her backup. With the situation temporarily safe, Jack, bleeding heavily, collapsed. Seeing his severe injuries, the 4 didn't delay, quickly moving him to the cargo hold to treat his abdominal wound. Watching Jack suffer for protecting her, Lisa hesitated before confessing everything. Orphaned young, her exceptional talent led Thailand's military to train her as a hacker at 15. She used her skills for their illegal activities, but the boundless crimes tormented her conscience. Eventually, she betrayed the organization, stealing a mysterious box containing a powerful device. Capable of breaching multiple nations' firewalls in 30 seconds was what the assassins truly wanted. Simultaneously, the CIA uncovered Phantom's true identity. As Agent Mason rushed off, Laura's smile faded. Soon, Phantom's real info appeared on the dark web, orchestrated by Mason to pit Jack and the assassins against each other, allowing him to capture Lisa officially. This would secure the mysterious device, earn him accolades, and avoid paying the $10 million bounty. A perfect 3 birds 1 stone plan. When Laura saw through his scheme, Mason, unfazed, confessed everything. Shockingly, Laura didn't stop him, but joined his plan to capture Lisa at minimal cost. At that moment, the cargo hold's door shook. Violent liaisons had found them. Paul called, warning Lisa that the killers had her photo and she must escape. Knowing the cargo hold's partition couldn't withstand the impacts, Jack decided to confront them. They rummaged through luggage for useful weapons. Jack then drank a vial of adrenaline, stolen by the vet when Lisa was injured, to reactivate his body's functions, but soon, the others noticed Jack's condition was dire. "If we play this right, every bastard here deserves to die," he said. Lisa and the others were speechless, about to plan the next move, when Jack grew more frenzied, claiming he could take down all the assassins alone. Only then did they grasp the gravity of the situation. Ripping off the vial's label, they discovered it was toad venom, far stronger than adrenaline. Soon Jack, leading his allies, stormed back to the cabin, launching a fierce assault on the assassins. With the 3 women's suppressive firepower, the assassins gained no ground. Jack climbed back into the plane, the toad venom making the scene before him dazzlingly vivid, time seeming to slow. Only when a beautiful female assassin stood before him did Jack react, landing a punch that shattered her skull. To him, the spurting blood was like vibrant fireworks. He then unleashed divine prowess, single-handedly dominating the fray. Though only 4, their extraordinary combat skills held strong against the mob. Meanwhile, the Triad, hoping to profit from the chaos, could no longer sit idle. They pulled guns from backpacks and began firing wildly, turning the scene into pandemonium. A sudden disaster struck. A stray bullet shattered a window, and the massive air pressure instantly sucked an assassin out. Oxygen rapidly depleted. Passengers clung to seats to avoid being pulled out. Jack and his allies seized the moment, shoving the gun-wielding triad members off the plane. In the nick of time, the two pilots calmly lowered the plane's altitude and speed, stabilizing it. But the co-pilot, still shaken, forgot Jack's orders and, despite the captain's protests, opened the cockpit door. Two assassins rushed in, seizing control. Worse, Jack's wound tore open, and facing the encircling assassins, he began to falter. Just then, Lisa stepped forward, tossing him a chainsaw with devastating power. With a fitting weapon, Jack's combat prowess erupted. The chainsaw's deafening roar echoed through the plane, blood staining the floor and walls in a merciless slaughter. But as he killed in a frenzy, an unconscious triad gunman awoke, staggering toward Lisa's hiding spot, pursued by another assassin. Fortunately, Jack noticed in time, using the chainsaw to dispatch both effortlessly. After eliminating all assassins like chopping bamboo, the ordeal finally ended. But the captain had been killed, leaving only Jack and Lisa to safely land the plane. Meanwhile, at the landing site, Laura and Mason anxiously awaited. Watching the plane approach on the radar, Mason couldn't hide his excitement, but the next second, the plane vanished from the screen. Before he could process it, Laura shot him in the head from behind. Everything had been part of her calculated plan. Jack's phone rang again, and learning Laura was after the mysterious box, he immediately refused to hand Lisa over to the CIA, hanging up without listening to her deceitful excuses. Having completely turned against Laura, the plane could no longer land in Los Angeles as planned. However, Lisa had anticipated this. As a top hacker wielding the powerful mysterious device, controlling a plane was well within her capabilities. Hearing this, Jack finally passed out with relief. When he awoke, the plane had landed safely, but before he could grasp the situation, a grenade blasted through the room's wall. Wonderful, I'm still alive. Good news, we keep playing. Here, the film ends. Set on a flight from Manila to Los Angeles, the movie tells the story of CIA agent Jack, urgently recalled mid-flight to capture the elusive hacker Phantom. Unbeknownst to him, as the plot unfolds, a deadly battle erupts at 30,000 feet. The film's action scenes are intense and thrilling, inheriting the gritty style of the John Wick series, with relentless close-quarters combat and shocking visuals. The confined airplane setting amplifies the tension, especially in gunfights, where handheld camera angles enhance realism and suspense. Though the plot is somewhat simplistic, director James Martin masterfully uses spatial arrangement and visual language to create a cohesive, flowing narrative. Lead actor Josh Hartnett brilliantly employs his nuanced acting to portray a courageous yet cunning agent, his commanding presence in action scenes leaving a lasting impression on audiences. Beyond the gripping action, the film weaves in emotional elements, with the trust Jack builds with other passengers during his mission adding warmth. While the emotional portrayal isn't prominent, it enriches the film's emotional depth, preventing it from being merely a thrill ride. For those interested, check out the original film, Fly to Fire. A film's value lies in its reputation, and a review's worth lies in its insights. The story ends here. Thanks for watching. What did you think of the movie? Drop your comments below.